Hello, hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name's Amber. On my channel, we do beauty shopping and fashion videos. Today, I have a video featuring Madam Glam. They were so kind to send me this full gel mani kit. You get the base and top coat, you get 3 gel colors, and you get a lamp. It's enough to do a whole bunch of gel manicures at home. So this is their base and top coat. And then they sent me 3 beautiful colors. I chose this beautiful frosty white, this creamy nude color, and then this really interesting grayish green. It really was speaking to me. So wait till you see these. This one is called Dreaming of Iceland. We have cream donut. And then, of course, we have busy avocado. How cute is that? I'm dying. Serious. So I have done a video featuring the Madam Glam Builder Gels in the past. So if you're interested in seeing that, I will link it below. So the full gel application, we're going to do all the steps start to finish in detail on this channel today. So if you're interested in how to get a full gel mani, then just keep watching. So I wanted to show you the LED lamp, and this is the different watts and the power here. This is the lamp that I'll be using. So I set this up and got it ready to go, and I decided to go ahead and swatch all 3 colors so that you guys could see all 3 colors swatched out in all of their glory. So we're going to movie magic this. Here they are. So there's Dreaming of Iceland, Cream Donut, and of course, Busy Avocado. I'll give you one guess which color I decided to go with. Spoiler alert! So here we are. Look at these beautifully shaped up shorties. So I just posted a video on how I shape my nails in a coffin shape shorties edition. So if you have a broken nail, if you just like to rock short nails, check that video out. I will link it in the description box below. So here we go. Step 1, we're going to go in applying the base coat. Now I didn't prep anything special on my nails. I'm doing just regular natural nails. So typically I do my nail prep the day before, which I did. I shaped them up, pushed my cuticles back, and just lightly ran a buffing block over all the surface of my nails. The next day, once my nails were clean and dry, I started in on application of the base coat. So I didn't use prep. I didn't use pH prep or dehydrator. I'm sorry. I didn't put anything down on my natural nail for this. I did that because this is typically my process. And when I try out a new brand, I don't change anything. I want to see how it performs compared to other brands in my typical process. So that's what I did. So if you prefer, make sure that you prep your nails to your preferred prep. If you use a pH prep or dehydrator beforehand, a lot of times you'll get a little bit longer lasting of a mani and it won't lift as soon. So as you've seen here, my process is to start on the lower half of the nail. I want to put most of my product down there. Then I'm going to move up to the cuticle with a really light hand, making sure that I'm covering all the way around to the sidewalls and I'm getting all the edges of the tips. Once I have all nails painted, I flip them over for about 10 seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and do some movie magic here, but I did cure them for a full 60 seconds. Once cured, that's the first step. Second step, going in with color. So let me get a little bit more in detail on how I actually paint on my gel polish, or what my method is. So you'll see here, I go in with a thick glob on my brush, and I'm going to start with that bottom half of the nail. So I'm applying most of the color, most of the product to the weakest spot of my nail. Then once I have it on there, I'm going to move my brush up to the cuticle area, and I'm slowly just kind of wiping and flicking in downward motions to make sure I'm getting an even application of product and color. Making sure also that you're getting into the very sides of your nails or the sidewall and then covering all the way down to the very tips and the edges. Here, I am showing you what not to do by using your fingernail to clean up any spillage in your sidewalls. You really should use a cuticle stick. That's because you could transfer bacteria from your nail into the sidewalls if you were to kind of nick it and cut your skin open. So it's just better for sanitary reasons to use like a cuticle pusher. I was just being lazy. I didn't have one nearby, so I used my nail. But here in my next coat, you'll see me model good behavior and show you really how it's supposed to be done. Another reason why you should use a cuticle stick is you just get a better application. You just get a better results than you do with your nail. So I have two nails painted here. I'm using a fair or a decent amount of product, as you can see. I'm applying most to the bottom half of my nail, and then I'm going to work up towards the cuticle. So most of the application is kind of gradient towards the tip of my nail. So I have most of the product there and the least amount at my cuticle. So it starts to kind of fade down. But I'm also making sure that I'm kind of flicking over those areas and getting a good amount of color so I don't have any streakiness. So there we have three nails. I typically do my two thumbs first. All steps, base, color coats, top coat. Then I'll do four fingers on my left hand, which you see now. I'm painting with my right. Once those are fully done, I'll do all four fingers on my right hand, painting with my left, of course. I'm going to take you through the full process, start to finish, on these four fingers so you can see how I apply the color on my shorties, how I get the full gel mani, how I file and shape, and what the finished product looks like. Now, I did do two coats of color on this hand, and I end up doing three coats of color on the other hand, and you can see the difference in the coats. So now that we have that complete, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these nails over for about 5 to 10 seconds. If you haven't watched any of my nail videos, then the reason I do this is to allow that color that may have kind of dripped into your sidewalls to start to pull back into the center, the apex of your nail, and you create a better shape that way. Then I'm going to cure for a full 60 seconds. And here we have one coat of color cured. We're going to go in with our second coat. And as you can see, I got my cuticle stick, my orange wood stick, whatever you want to call it. It has one pointy end, one flat end. It does really good at wiping up any little mistakes. And it's going to be a lot more sanitary than using your fingernail. So do as I say, not as I do on that one. Now we're going in with that same process, covering all four nails, starting to put most of the color down towards the tip, working my way up to the cuticle and then back down. And then I was just making sure to pay close attention to cover all sides of the tips of my nail. Since I have a coffin shape, they come to a point in towards that tip. And I really wanted to make sure that I applied color all the way through to that point. And that's going to, one, make our nails look way better, and two, provide that little bit of extra strength on my nails. So I'm less likely to chip those very thin, kind of pointy edges to that coffin shape. I recently broke a couple of nails, and so I filed them into these cute little shorties. As I mentioned, I filmed that on my last video, so if you missed that, I'll link it down in the description box. So here I'm being a good girl, and I'm using my cuticle stick to clean up a little bit of color that I got in my sidewalls. I recently saw somebody use a little mini hair clip, and they clipped it underneath their finger to pull the skin away from the sidewalls of their nail to get a better application. I think I might try that on the next video. What do you guys think? Have you tried that? What is your best practice? Do you have any cool, weird little tips that you haven't really seen anyone else use that we need to know about? Shoot a comment in this video down below. Make sure you share them. And maybe I'll try it out on the next mani and we'll see if it actually works well. So just finishing up color on this final nail, and I had enough left on my brush to go ahead and put a coat of color on my little pinky nail here. So I'm just gonna finish that up. And then once everything is fully coated, I've got 2 full coats. I'm gonna flip them over and then cure for the full 60 seconds. And I have a cool video coming up this week. I'm gonna film a henna eyebrow tutorial. And that's something that I've been doing. I kind of overplucked my brows when I was younger. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have. Who hasn't, right? That was the thing. That being said, they're a little bit sparse now, and I've spent a lot of time trying to get them to grow in, but most of the time I've just been filling them, which is time consuming. Sometimes I wipe one off if I get too sweaty at the gym. It's just not preferable. So I've been doing henna brows and I have been so happy with the results. So much so that I think I'm going to film a video and share with you guys. So make sure you subscribe before you leave so you don't miss that video. So here we go. We have 2 coats of color. We're going to go in with our final step of top coat. Now, this top coat and the base coat had the same type of consistency. It was a very thick gel. It wasn't too runny, which I really liked. It was easy to place on there, and I was able to use a good amount without it running all over the place. The consistency was just very, very nice. Really, really enjoyed the base coat and the top coat. Honestly, this is one of the best nail gel starter kits that I've ever used. I really enjoyed the Madam Glam Builder Gel, and that's something that I purchased on my own to review at a request of a subscriber. So I'll link that video below if you want to catch that. But I still have this polish on my nails. I've been wearing it for over a week now, which actually is pretty long for me. Typically, after about 4 or 5 days, the gel starts to lift, and then I kind of pick them off, and it's time for a new manicure. But I am still rocking this color. It is one of the coolest colors I have ever used. It is this really cool, deep gray with a green tint. And the color name, Busy Avocado, just really hits the nail on the head. Because if you think about an avocado, maybe you're a little too busy to get to and it got a little overripe. You cut into it and there's those really dark gray, green spots. Doesn't this color look exactly like that? I really thought that was too cute. I'm an avocado person, an avocado fan, so it was definitely a killer color for me. So I'm still wearing this on my nails. That's a big tribute to Madam Glam's application and the quality of their product, but also to their color selection. That frosty white and that creamy nude color are just so me. I know I'm going to be wearing those a lot. So I'm definitely been happy with these. If you want to see another video featuring the other colors, let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably just snap some pics and put it on my stories on Instagram. If you're not following me there, make sure you go. It's at Amber Riley's Life. I'll have all of those links in the description box. So check it out. So I'm just finishing up this final application. As you saw, it's the same process every time. Most of the color goes to the tip. Then I slowly put a little bit on the cuticle, work my way down through the sidewalls, making sure I'm getting the tips and the very edges of the nail. Then we're going to flip it over. We're going to let that gel that might have settled into the sidewalls kind of find its way back to the middle of the nail, creating beautiful shape and a nice apex. So that's why we do the little flip. I felt a little bit of gel had leaked into my sidewall here, so I went really quickly grabbed that to just clean that up. And then now we're going to flip, let that gel settle back. And then we're going to cook this baby for another 60 seconds. And this is, like I said, video magic. I just edit this out so you don't have to sit here and watch it for a whole minute. But I did cure it for a full 60 seconds. And look at those beauties. Nail magic. And boom, the other hand is done. Don't you wish it was that easy? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. So we are going to go into the final step here, and that's filing and cleaning up the edges. As much as you want to keep your layers thin, keep your manicure without leaking, cleaning up those sidewalls if you have a little spillage. just doing that throughout your manicure so that you have less work and less filing to do afterwards, you're still going to have a little bit that you're going to need to clean up. Typically, I will just find a little bit in the sidewalls, and if I can, at all costs, I try to avoid filing the edges or the tips because then you're going to get that separation and that lifting. So I'm just taking the file in the very sidewall of my nail. What I mean is the skin between your nail and your finger where that product kind of leaks in, but I'm not actually filing the exposed edge and tip much at all. That way I'm getting more longevity or longer wear time out of my manicure. And I just had a little bit extra hanging off there, so I picked it off with my finger. And then I'm just going to go in and do the same for all nails here, just slowly kind of identifying any little spillage that I might have leaked into those sidewalls, cleaning up just a little bit, doing the least amount of filing as possible. And honestly, these applied so well, I didn't have that much cleanup to do. So you can see I'm just showing you here, this is what it kind of looks like when you get a little extra buildup in the sidewall. I'm just getting that file up underneath it. And then I'm just taking away that buildup, brushing away the extra with a brush, and then just going in and chipping away at it until it's nice and smooth. And I've filed away that extra spillage. So not every, manicure is going to come out perfect. It might require a little bit of touching up. But if you take your time, you go light on your layers, then you won't have much cleaning up to do. So now we're going to go wash our hands, clean them up. And this is what the finished product looks like. So I have 2 coats on my left hand, 3 coats on my right hand, and now I'm just throwing a little bit of cuticle oil on there. This is how I typically finish up my manis, just rubbing it in there and then applying that oil to my fingers and hands and rubbing it in. So as you can see, my left hand's a little bit lighter. The right hand with the 3 coats, turned out liking it a little bit more. The thickness and just the opacity of the color payoff was just a lot better. So I do recommend 3 full coats versus the 2. But honestly, it just looked beautiful. I'm still wearing it. Really love it. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. I'm going to show you what this color looks like with a white background so you can really see it's just a very dark gray with a hint of green. It's breathtaking. I love it. So I will link everything below. If you want to go pick these colors up, you can check them out. Make sure you click on that description box. Subscribe before you leave. Of course, it really helps me out. So I really appreciate y'all's support. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.